I've been a working professional for 5 years now, and I've just gotten engaged to the man I deeply love. He's a divorcee with a child. There might be societal prejudice against us, but I love him and his child. A family of 3 was walking a blissful life path, or so I thought. That with only a few months left until the wedding, everything was going so well for us. But who would have thought we'd end up in such a situation? My name is Ann Davis, 27 years old. I'm an ordinary office worker in a regular company. You could say my life up until now has been quite ordinary. But as a shy person who dislikes being the center of attention, I've mostly been a wallflower. No romantic experiences to speak of, and no dating throughout my student years. I was just a quiet student, concentrating on my studies and extracurricular activities. But now I have someone I want to protect, my fiancé, Mark Johnson. Mark is 3 years older than me and works at a company affiliated with mine. We met through work, but our romantic relationship started due to a different reason. One day, I was shopping alone at a mall on a day off, and I found a little girl who was lost. I immediately took her to the mall's security center. But while waiting with the child for the arrival of the guardian, it was Mark who heard the announcement and rushed over in a panic. As we already knew each other through work, we couldn't help but widen our eyes in surprise at the encounter.
Ann.
Mark, so you're the father of this little girl?
I'm so relieved it was you. It's Naunderjno. She's about to start elementary school, but she's really shy and timid. I was so worried when she got lost. But thanks to you, she's safe now. Thank you.
And so in this unexpected way, Mark and I found ourselves connected. From that day on, Mark and I started interacting more outside of work. But initially, it wasn't because he was interested in me. His daughter Lily had taken a liking to me.
No, Lily's been asking to see you. Would you like to join us for a meal sometime, as a thank you for the other day?
Really? I'd love to meet Lily again.
Mark had booked a lovely restaurant and picked me up in his car. His manners were impeccable, and as someone with no romantic experience, his actions made my heart flutter. We had a few more meals together, always with Lily. Then one day during lunch break at work, I got a message from Mark.
How about dinner tonight?
Sure, I'm looking forward to seeing Lily again.
Well, I was thinking it would just be the 2 of us this time.
I was surprised. Looking back, I think a lot of things happened by chance.
Sir.
Even now, when I think about it, I believe a multitude of coincidences piled on top of each other. Mark, our little Lily, I just wanted the 3 of us to live happily ever after. But then, some happened that rocked my smooth life. I was set to marry Mark, and we had arranged a meeting between our families. However, there was one thing that was troubling me. It was about my brother Keith and his wife Renee. To put it bluntly, they are a couple of absolutely ridiculous troublemakers. Renee is somewhat of a well-known model and apparently quite popular among the younger crowd. On the surface, she seems adorable. But in reality, she's a wicked woman who enjoys ridiculing me. Together with my brother. Keith, for his part, has always looked down on me, his little sister, and is an utterly despicable person. he had a brief stint working for a magazine during his college years, where he met Renee and quickly got married. Now, since Renee makes a decent income, Keith basically lives off her earnings. In other words, he's a moosher. As it was clear to me that these two would never sincerely celebrate my upcoming wedding, feeling anxious, I decided to consult with my mother.
About that family meeting. Do we really have to invite Keith and Renee?
Justin, I understand why you wouldn't want to, Anne, but what if we don't invite them, and it turns out like the time with your father?
Right.
At least what my mother referred to was the incident during my father's funeral. Keith had always been a burden to our family, and particularly, he didn't get along with our father. Ever since my father ill and started battling the disease, he would often say, "Even if I die, never invite Keith to my funeral." After my father passed away, my mother and I respected his wish and didn't invite Keith to the funeral. However, somehow Keith found out about the funeral and showed up unannounced. "This is a joke. How can you not invite me, his son? Make sure I get my rightful inheritance." He caused this huge scene, yelling and creating a great inconvenience to the attendees. Because of such experiences, I was deeply troubled. If we didn't invite Keith to the family meeting, it could potentially cause more trouble. After discussing with my mother, we reluctantly decided to invite Keith and his wife. However, I would later realize that this decision was indeed a mistake. Because on the day of the family meeting, Keith and Renee did not show up on time. At the family meeting, Keith and Renee arrived late, causing me to worry that they might not show up at all. Just as I was thinking this, they made their entrance dressed in flashy attire that clearly did not fit the occasion.
Sorry we're late. Oh, and you're getting married. We never thought a gloomy girl like you could get hitched. Times would have changed.
The distinct atmosphere at the meeting instantly froze with my brother's remark. The only saving grace was our daughter Lily's reaction upon seeing Renee. She exclaimed, "It's the real Renee. Amazing. Can I have your autograph, please?" Attention in the room eased a bit at Lily's adorable request, but only for a moment. Renee clicked her tongue after giving Lily a quick glance, saying, "What's with this kid? Asking for an autograph?" The courtiers must autograph right off the bat. So presumptuous. This is why I hate kids. Seeing this, my brother delivered the final blow, disrupting the harmony of the occasion by saying, "So, Anne, your fiancé's a single dad, huh? Are you just conveniently filling in as a mom or what?"
Hey Keith, how could you say that? Apologize to Mark and Lily.
That's we. Why do I have to apologize? I thought it was strange that you were getting married in the first place, but if the guy's a single dad, it makes sense. You're the type to be easily swayed, aren't you? Well, Mark, you found a quick replacement, for a mom. Good for you.
I deeply regretted inviting them. After doing as they pleased, Keith and his wife left without a word of apology. I repeatedly bowed my head in apology with my mother.
I'm really sorry. My brother was so rude. It wouldn't be surprising if this led to the breakup of our engagement. What if Mark's parents get angry?
Oh, don't worry about it. The one who must have had the hardest time was you. And right?
Mark, thank you, mother-in-law, father-in-law. Despite the trouble caused by my brother and his wife, thanks to the magnanimity of my fiancé and my in-laws, I was able to get through the meeting.
Needless to say, we decided not to invite my brother and his wife to the wedding after consulting with my mother. And then, 5 months later, on the long-awaited day of my wedding to Mark, while preparing in the dressing room, I received a call from my brother. Apparently, he'd heard about the wedding from a cousin who was attending. My brother had mistaken the invitation I intentionally didn't send as an oversight on my part.
Hey, what's the meaning of this?
A parody of prior ordinance of disticulates and comprisement surprise. For the record, we never invited you and Renee in the first place.
You getting cocky, huh? Don't get ahead of yourself just because you're getting married. Ugly.
As my brother's voice was trembling with anger, the more he yelled, the calmer I became.
Pity, is that all you can do, shouting loudly? What a pitiful person. Someday, someone will pull the rug out from under you.
Remember this, I will make you regret this. Goodbye, and please never involve yourself with me again.
A power is the maid's of eyes and tolls. I said firmly and hung up the phone. Afterwards, he called several times, but I ignored them all. By cutting ties with my brother, my heart felt a little lighter. Thanks to that, I was able to switch my mood and attend the ceremony. We were being blessed by a large number of people at the ceremony venue. I brushed aside the memory of my brother's words, telling myself to immerse in the happiness of the moment. Hadn't happened. Bang! The venue's door opened and my brother and his wife appeared.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the bride's brother and sister-in-law, but we were not invited to the wedding. Isn't that terrible?
Hey, brother, stop it.
At least subsing $90 while you're the one at fault. This is your punishment for ostracizing us.
The venue started to buzz with the arrival of my brother and his wife. Voices criticizing us began to reach our ears. I felt guilty towards my partner and in-laws, and my sister-in-law is a famous to model. We were the ones who ended up looking bad for not inviting her to the wedding.
Hello, is this loud enough? I'm gonna spill the beans now.
The next moment, a voice started to echo around the venue. Anne, are you getting married? You're such an introverted, ugly person, and now you're getting married? Times sure have changed. What's with this kid asking for an autograph out of the blue? This is why I hate kids. These rude remarks were made by my brother and his wife during our meetup.
I always thought it was weird that you were getting married, Mark, but if you have a kid, I get it. Good for you for finding a mother figure so quickly, said my brother.
It's sad to say the truth, said my sister-in-law Renee.
Venue began to buzz even more.
Hey, Anne, this is enough, stop it, Keith exclaimed.
Oh no, stop this audio, Renee demanded.
Mark, who had been quiet until now, smoothly stepped in. Can I ask you to leave because you're causing trouble? I'll call the cops if you continue to stick around, he said.
What would you say? Keith asked, surprised.
When I turned around, there were the guests pointing their smartphones at Keith and his wife. Keith was one thing, but Renee was a celebrity. It was natural for the attendees to turn into onlookers.
That steals not it. I'm my wife. Shaw can't take this anymore. I'm leaving. Renee said and fled from the venue. Keith chased after her.
The venue was soon filled with a storm of applause. Mark and Lily shared a bashful smile. After that, the ceremony ended without a hitch. I asked Lily about something that had been bothering me for a long time.
Lily, how did you get that audio? I asked.
That. I got a new phone from Dad, and I wanted to try out various functions. I was, recording the whole time since the meetup. Thanks to you, Lily, we were saved. Lily replied,
Without that audio, we probably would have been the villains. According to the rumors, they decided to divorce easily. On the other hand, Mark and I were blessed with a new life. We're now a family of 4, living peaceful days. We don't have much money or fame, but still, I cherish these days with my beloved family more than anything.